Every sunrise is a promise. It's a celebration of what's to come. Memories waiting to be made. And adventures to be had. Each new day is an open invitation to live beautifully. Make every day more beautiful with Maui Gym.
Pan cooler keeps your drink upright, accident-free, and icy cold.
There's a moment when you're faced with a challenge, and just solving the problem isn't good enough. We accepted that challenge and pushed well beyond all expectations. Even if that means breaking the rules and shredding apart all conventional ways of thinking, all in the name of creating something truly remarkable. We started by developing next-generation brushless tech, which produces the most commanding propulsion ever with supreme efficiency. Fabricated with aerospace-grade titanium for the ultimate in durability, it's engineered with such precision that it has moved beyond stealth. All guided by state-of-the-art advanced GPS navigation modes. We removed all worries with built-in compound fail-safes for unstoppable reliability. And it's painstakingly crafted to last all day, every day. All backed by our continued promise and commitment to be there whenever you need us, no questions asked. With this much control at its command, we didn't stop with just one. We created two incredible trolling motors. Introducing the new Power Pole Move brushless trolling motor.
There you go. You wouldn't believe what Nicole was saying before the start then. She's been hanging around Tournament Fisherman too long. Welcome. This is ABT Live number 41. It's been an exciting night. We were promised storms. There's no storms. The burglar alarm was going off next door 5 minutes ago because old mate cleaning the fryers or whatever knew the code but didn't know where the keypad was. So the security footage from a next door neighbour will show me walking around their place with the light on at night with an Indian dude. Trying to find the keypad. We found it. Just I'll be on that next Australia's Most Wanted show. So ABT Live 41, Nicole, thank you very much for putting all the back end of it together.
No worries.
I just rock up for all the glory, although we did throw you in the deep end at Wilson's. You had to interview poor old Dicko, who's near suicidal after the first couple of events of BARRA this year.
He was very kind. Love Dicko.
Dicko's great, and of course we do love Xeric. This is the time of year, Wilson, Xeric, Venom, all of that is BARRA, Wilson's brands come together and put on an amazing series of events called the Xeric BARRA series, but in particular we are just getting ready, and if I turn that camera around it would be showing you an absolute chaotic mess of getting ready for the BARRA tour. Now what started as a group of guys catching some barras in a Wonga and various lakes up and down the coast turned into an international event last year, didn't it, with Carl and Gussie coming across. And I don't know if being the Bassmaster champion has gone to his head, but Gussie's ditched Carl this year, and he's coming across himself, and we're going to catch up with him a little bit later in the show. But Nicole, that's not all we're catching up with. Who else are we talking to tonight?
Well, it is all BARRA tonight, so we thought we'd touch base with a lot of our great supporters of our BARRA round. So we're catching up with Michael Starky. Atomic have the opening round at Teamborough.
Yep.
Then we catch up with Josh Lowry. We went down and had a little field trip down the Gold Coast to Samaki to touch base with him, and we know he's teaming up with Tommy this year.
Like Tommy's third parent.
If Tommy would had his way, he would have been pre-fishing the last 2 weeks, and Josh is the level-headed one that says,
work, Tiger.
Work, Tiger, work.
That's it.
Who else have we got? We got Gussie on the show and Dicko.
Yep, and it's quite funny. Dicko hopefully will come back from the BARRA tour with a shaved head. More about that later on. As usual, we have plenty of prizes to give away. We worked out we've got a whole heap of atomic stuff we still haven't given away. So we've actually got at least 1, 2, 3 of the atomic bags to give away tonight. They have things in them like the, what do we got there? One of their shallow jerk baits, one of their reel baits. I think we got a non-flat brimmed atomic hat, one of the best things you've ever done, Michael. Don't make any more of those flat brim ones. Only Carl Jochimson and sort of slightly Chromo can pull those off.
So the cool kids.
The cool kids can pull them off. Deep jerk bait there as well. If you're not a barra fisherman, I'm sure they work great on flathead, mulloway, whatever's in your part of the world. As usual, we give one away for letting us know where you're from. So whatever platform you're watching on, let us know where you're from. And you were in the draw for one of those kits. But we have other ways of winning them tonight as well. Firstly, share this video link if you're able to do 2 things at once. Share it on Facebook. If you're watching on Facebook, share it on Facebook. If you're watching on YouTube, share it on Facebook. We'll give away another one of these kits to someone who shares it. We're not often like, oh please like and subscribe, but we were just thinking of a mechanism for the competition this time. So share it. We can at least see who does it. So
What was the like and subscribe voice? Where did that come from?
please like and subscribe. Well, there's a bit of music I got on the music subscription I have for our videos that we run there, and it's a song called Like and Subscribe. So I think I might have to use that for our next soundtrack that we use. License free, begging to like and subscribe. Actually, if you don't like us, unsubscribe. If enough people unsubscribe, I don't have to sit here on a weekday night. I could be home watching telly. No, I spend enough time in front of live cameras to get away with not having to do this, but we love having the viewers from all over Australia. Let us know where you are, win one of these bags. Share it on Facebook, win one of these bags. We've got 2 other prizes, a great Zerek-Wilson's Venom prize pack there, and another one of these. We'll tell you the mechanism for those a bit later in the show. Other show and tell, we had a great package from Halco turn up during the week with all the T-Barra 80s. Here, have a look at some of those. I'll tell you what, never seen a lure that colour before, but we've got some great funky colours in the T-Barra 80s. Guess how many of those we're giving away tonight? None. You've got to go to the Barra Tour to get those. Every team that fishes the Hummingbird event, which I think is one of the
first round
Faust,
when we get up to Faust, the all-nighter.
They get the Halco lunch pack. Not a sandwich in there, a couple of T-Barra 80s. So yeah, that was fun. We packed up 40 or something bags of those the other day to get them ready for the tour. A lot of packing, a lot of Barra stuff all happening. So lots happened. We had like 3 grand finals in 4 weeks.
We gave away so many boats.
We gave away 3 boats. I think that's nearly 40 boats we've given away from ABT over the years now. So we've been there a long time. Yeah, boats. People love the boats. Braden likes his boat. He's keeping it going summer fishing in the salt water with it. I think it's because he doesn't like putting his legend in the salt water.
But go back. So first grand final of the ranks was the Bass Electric grand final. We had Chesley Lennon.
We talked about that last show.
He absolutely smashed it. We're in grand final mode.
Okay.
So he won the little P395.
You got it. With the Avatar 7.5E on the back.
So then we had a couple weeks and we shot it out to Boondooma for the Bass Pro Grand Final for the 13 Fishing Bass Pro Series.
Yep.
And we had 2 awesome winners there. Braden Shue walked away with the big boat.
And he was a consecutive grand final winner, first one to do it. Well done, Braden. And another 2-time winner in the non-boater.
Yeah, Paul Mazzaroli.
Mazza
took home the big tackle ball.
Mazza, Jesus, I just think that Evo would have had such a long trip home with Mazza there, giving him the bass lecture. Yep, we know that happened, Evo. We feel sorry for you, mate, but, you know, probably would have only been about 10 hours of Mazza saying, that time I won the grand final. And let me say that you're allowed to say that stuff for 10 years after you win it. So if you win an event, for at least 10 years after, you should start most sentences with, remember that time I won, insert event here. That's legit. After 11 years, your mates can tell you to go and win another one.
So we came back and it was a super quick turnaround and we headed south down to Port Stephens for the Daiwa Brim Series Grand Final.
At Port Stephens, and man, what an arena that turned out to be. It was all strategy, that one. It was like 4 of the top 5 boats went on the long run. Like I think there was 4 of us went on the quarter to hour and a half run. Well, it's not a run, it's like a walk up to Maya Lakes. And that's where a lot of the fish came from. And there was some great fish come out of the main basin at Port Stephens, but there wasn't enough of them to get up in the top ranks. And how was it? Chromo winning that event for his mate Kaimi, who passed early this year. You couldn't have written a better script, could you?
He had the passion and the drive. If it was going to happen, it was going to happen this year, and it all just aligned and came together for him. So that was super cool story to go with that win. And of course, in the back of the boat,
Tucker.
our
Back of the
AOI.
boat for the last time, maybe.
Yeah, we're gearing him up. I think he's going to step up next year.
Plenty of, and that's sort of the story of this year. A lot of non-boaters have said they're stepping up. We've got Adam Mears, the non-boater
Bass
AOI in the
and
Bass. Troy Lowe, I think Tyson Everly was talking about it. On the brim side, we have Tucker stepping up. I don't know any of the other brimmers that are stepping up, but it's always great to see. And if you ever want to put one of these highfalutin fishing legends in their place, I can go back far enough at ABT and I can show you there when they were a non-boater at ABT. It's I look back through the old stories and stuff, and guys like Chris Cleaver used to be a non-boater in ABT, and he is the fish catching machine at the moment down south. But yeah, a lot of guys got their starts at the back of the boat. So if you're watching this and you're keen on getting involved, I posted earlier in the week in the ABT Tournament Angle group, which is one you should get involved if you want to get involved. The stories about how to get involved, whether it's brim, bass, barra. There's the step-by-step how-tos that'll probably answer 95% of your questions when it comes to that. Don't overcomplicate it. It's pretty simple. You bring your fishing rods, you go fishing with someone that also likes fishing, you have a great time doing it, win some great prizes. That's the 10-second summary of what ABT is.
Do you want to talk about something else that dropped? Last
Yeah,
week?
what the new calendar was like. Good on you, Nicole, that you did that. People were congratulating me on the calendar. It's the fact is I haven't done the calendar for 2 years now. You've done it both times, and
We made the fewest amount of people unhappy.
Yeah, that's right. Well, tell us your theory. What do we roll out? What have been the highlights?
I don't know. It was just trying to find a combination of events that people want to go travel to,
Yep.
and to make it as easy as possible for people to get to as many events as possible.
Yep.
And yeah, it's been really well received. So thanks, guys, for the feedback.
That's it, or either they're too scared to tell you to your face that they don't like it.
Yeah. But couple of notable things on that calendar is our 3-day grand finals across both the Bass and the Brim.
It's sort of, it's not like we haven't done it before, but it was pretty obvious in a couple of the events that the guys sort of at the bottom of the leaderboard felt like a bit of a third wheel on the last day of the tournament, especially in the Brim when there's sort of no chance on making up 8 kilos on Mark Crompton on day 3. So we're going to go back to a format that works really well in the Opens is we're going to 3-day event, boater, non-boater, fish for your own fish on the first 2 days of fishing. And at the end of day 2, we can really concentrate on that non-boater champion. Sometimes the non-boater champion gets lost a little bit amongst the boater champion when we do it. So day 2, crowning of the non-boater champion. They have the dubious honour of filling a box with the entire tackle wall and taking that home. But then day 3, we cut the field, maybe the top 10 or top 15 or top half or something like that. And if you're hanging around as a non-boater or a boater that wants to see how it was done, we're going to use those guys as observers on day 3. They can run the estimator scoreboards. They can take footage on the phones. It works really, really well in the Opens, and it lets us give that grand final coverage just that extra bit of sauce that it needs, because it is the premier event. We do give away $50,000+ worth of stuff each grand final, and I think it's time to start dialing in that coverage, because we can do it, but we just need the help of the observers to do it. So we're going to try that next year. So grand final aims for all of you boaters is going to make the cut. You know how Carl Jochimson feels every time he tries to make the last day, or Gussie, or any of those guys, and have a bit of our own competition within a competition.
So that's probably the biggest thing of note when we're looking at next year's calendar. Bass Electric guys, stay tuned. We do have some news coming. We're just getting some final details locked away, so stay tuned. But we think next month when we come to you with our last ABT Live for the year, we'll be able to just go and do a deep dive into the calendar with all the news, information, venues, and really break it down.
That's right. It's not dead and buried. It's just going to a slightly different home. So we're in talks with that at the moment. Don't worry, Bass Electric guys. We still love you. We just can't love everyone equally at the moment with our resources. This is our resources. So, so yeah, that's sort of the highlights of what's happening. We'll be spending, after the Barra tour wraps up in early December, we then spend the whole month selling sponsorship, doing deals for next year, making the tournament angler guide, which gets slipped into that Nice New Fishing Monthly glossy magazine. There's going to be a snappy doodle tournament angler guide this year. And the whole cycle starts again. A lot of people are super keen on it. If you're asking when entry forms come out, they come out after we get back from Barra Tour in December sometime. And when we say come out, it might be snazzy new enter online forms this year. Mate, who knows?
Then it's the same process. It's written on the calendar web page at the moment. We'll put out those entry forms, make them available to everyone who wants to enter. You fill them out, but we don't actually start processing those until early in January when we're all back after the Christmas New Year's period. And that means it's just a nice level playing field when we do those first draws for the year.
If you're really, you probably should be familiar with the rules for guaranteed entry in ABT events. You've got to either be travelling with or sharing accommodation with the person you guarantee enter with. Every Tassie year, I get sick of all the non-boaters saying, "Oh, I've got to get a guaranteed entry. I'm booking my stuff to Tassie." It's the same as every other event. If you're travelling with someone and you're going to go to Tassie together, you're going to get in. No worries. If you don't know someone or not travelling with someone, your name goes in the hat. We draw them all out on the first day of entries, and if you're lucky, you get in, and if you're not lucky, you got to wait a bit until you get in. We can normally get most people in, but sometimes it's a bit late in the picture. So please don't be panicking, ringing me up in the middle of January saying I've got to go to Tassie. I will point you in the direction of the rules, and you'll play it as it lies. That's how it works. Tassie, of course, we got that trial event for the new venue down on the Huon River. We got a free to enter, but prizes and app tournament. It's going to be awesome down in Tas next year.
We'll talk more about that next show.
Oh, next show.
Don't spill all the beans.
It's on
right
the calendar.
Now.
Come on. Okay, we'll save that. Why don't we go and let's go to Wilson's and let's send you off on your first mission to get a story with Dicko, the man with way too much hair.
Be kind. We've tracked him down. It's getting close to our most exciting time of the year where we go and catch big barra. Dicko, how pumped are you this year for the 2023 Xeric Barra Series?
Mate, I am looking forward to it so much. It's not funny. I've had Adam on the phone like today about 4 or 5 times, and he's packed. He sent me pictures of his gear all packed up, ready to go to make sure it fits in the car. So I'm really pumped.
And you just let us in on a little something just before this segment. We're going to out you. Take that hat off, Dicko.
Oh, yeah.
Hair's getting a bit long. What's the story there?
I'm not allowed to get a haircut until I catch a barra, apparently.
And how long has it been?
Too long. 16 sessions, I think.
Oh, let's change that this in a couple of weeks and we head up to Mackay. It's going to be a big one. I think our numbers, when we're looking at today, we've got 36-ish teams coming to the tour. We're already got more teams than we've ever had before. It's going to be huge.
That's awesome. That's really good. That just shows that people are really getting into the dam fishing for the barra. I think that's impressive. That's really good.
I think what's cool too, it's not just a whole bunch of Queenslanders or Mackay locals coming along. We've got teams that are travelling, making the trip up from New South Wales. We've got guys that are coming all the way from Victoria. And of course, we can't forget, we've got the 2 Gussies who are making the trek across from Canada this year. You've been talking to our mate Jeff at all in the lead up?
Yeah, I've been sending him a few messages and bits and pieces and told him I'd set him up with a bit of gear to start off. Some of the stuff that we use. Some of the stuff that Adam's been using, that's it.
I think Mr. Gustafson's been doing the ring around. I know there's been a few sneaky packages arriving at our office over the last couple of weeks, so he is well and truly stocking up. Heaps of messages flying between him and Steve, I know, so getting very excited, counting down the minutes, I think, till he can go catch that barra. I think their plane lands in Mackay at about 10 o'clock one night. By the time they get in, I think they will be heading straight out onto the lake to get them onto their first fish. This year, though, something really cool, the guys might have seen a bit of information about it across the socials. Yep. There's a chance to get into some big Venom target dollars this year. You got a bit of info on what that all means?
So for the round at Kinchin, you've got the chance to win, $1,000 worth of Wilson products, pretty much, if you catch a fish over a metre. Well, so it has to be a metre one. So it's pretty cool. And then for the other rounds, that's worth $500. So any person, you're only allowed to claim it once, but in the Kinchin round, if you win it, if you get one at the Kinchin round, you can get it again at Teamborough or Faust.
Okay, so if I'm understanding it right,
Yep.
you've got to catch a fish that's at least 101
Yep.
on the ABT Barra Tour measuring map.
Yep.
You've got to take a photo of it and send it through. You've got to be wearing that hat. So all teams are going to get one of these hats, or every angler will get one of these hats when they come and register. At every round you catch that fish that's 101, you get 500 Venom bucks, so you can redeem that in Wilson products. Come and see you guys. But you can get it once across the tour, but come the Venom sponsored round at Lake Kinchin, clean slate, and you're going to double it. So you catch a 101 or bigger at Kinchin, you get 1,000 Venom bucks to go and redeem in Wilson Tackle. Did I get it right?
Yes, you did. Yep. So theoretically, you can get $1,500 worth of Wilson products, you know.
I reckon you can up it even more, because we're still running the $12.50 for $12.50.
Well,
So
we're still running that one too.
you catch a fish in Kinchin especially, that's 1.25 meters or longer. Catch it using Wilson products. You can prove to us you caught it using, could be the rod, the reel, the lure. You get another $12.50 added onto that. So someone could clean up big time at Kinchin this year.
They definitely could if those big fish are there, which they are in that dam. Yeah, you could really clean up.
Well, the biggest fish we've had ever in ABT Barra Tour history in the tournament came out of Kinchin, a metre 36. That would be maybe 4 or 5 years ago now. So maybe we might see it happen again this year.
And I think on that same night, I think there was a metre 24 and a metre 28. So that's a lot of big fish in that dam.
How would you feel you catch a metre 28 in a tournament and it's not the biggest fish of the night? Feeling for those guys that night. It's all happening. So we've got the briefing. The tour all kicks off at Mackay Tackle World. Great supporters at ABT. They stock up big time, ready for the Barra Tour when it hits town, so the guys can go in there, restock, get their supplies, get themselves ready for the week. So that'll kick off the morning of the first event, which will be at Teamborough. Yep. So Teamborough had a little bit of a run over. We know they've done a heap of stocking. There was an MTA event there a week or two ago. Some big fish caught in that event, wasn't there?
Yeah, no, from what I saw, there was, I think there was like 5 or 6 like fish over a metre, and there was a couple like over a metre 10, which is really good. It's good to see. And a few of the boys I've been talking to, they have been still catching those metre 16s, metre 14s, you know. It's a good sized fish. So, mate, I don't think it's as dire straits as what we thought it was going to be. So, touch wood, we get some big ones caught there.
So that's going to be super exciting to kick it off at Teamborough, and yeah, really looking forward to seeing some of those big fish hit that measuring board. Second round, so the very next night, we're going to go to Kinchin. Love Kinchin. What I love about Kinchin, it is a smaller lake that we go to, but I just love that you can sit there and you can just see all the lights from the ABT anglers as you look around. Any news out of Kinchin?
No, I've been talking to a few of the local fellas up there, and they've been getting quite a few fish. So I think it's just a standard Kinchin. I think it'll be the same. They did tell me that the weed is right up at the moment. So, but they fluctuate that dam all the time. So, Kinchin's always a consistent dam, and there's some nice sized fish in there too.
So that takes up the first couple of nights of our Barra Tour. So then we all pack up, leave Mackay. We head up north to Proserpine, to Camp Kanga is where a lot of the guys will set up camp for the week. There's a couple of new owners in at Camp Kanga, Kath and Jim. They've been awesome, looking after the guys, making sure everyone's got the aircon and everything we need, and boat parking. Jim's got the campgrounds looking absolutely schmicko up there this year. So everyone goes up there, and we have 2 events at Peter Faust. So a night of pre-fishing for everyone, and then it's the big marathon all-nighter at Faust. The teams head off about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. They're not due back until 8 a.m. the next morning, still chasing those 5 biggest barra for the session. How do you find the all-nighters, Dicko?
I actually really like it. I'm not one person to go and have a sleep or anything like that. I'll fish it till the death, and I'm actually really looking forward to the Faust one this time, the all-nighter. I look forward to it up when we do it up at Tinaroo. I really enjoy that one. But the Faust one, I'm looking forward to it this year. I've got a few different views on how to fish now, spending a bit more time up there. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I'll fish the whole time. So
Good on you. I probably will not. I do like to get a sneaky little nap in those midnight hours, but good on you.
mate, but if I've got 5 meteries by 10 o'clock or something like that, or I'll probably come home and have a sleep then go back out in the morning. So
Good plan.
touch wood.
So then we have a night off from fishing. Party time. So superhero theme park. Not wait to see all the iterations of lycra and capes. And you got your costume sorted?
Yeah. No, it'll be sorted.
Given away anything?
No.
Stay tuned for the photos from Camp Kanga Party Night 2023. So after that, so hopefully by that point everyone's had a bit of a rest, we've caught up on some sleep, we've had a good party night, we've had some awards, a bit of fun, and then it's our last event for the tour, which is a 2-night championship on Peter Faust Dam. You reckon Faust will hold up? You're looking forward to two more nights?
Oh, definitely. Like, the place is big enough, and there's enough fish in there, and it's actually, even with 30 odd teams, you'll find a spot where you got it to yourself. So no, I think it'll be good. They'll get a little bit of a rest, and they'll come on strong again for that 2-day event. So.
And just looking at results historically too, as we get into that 2-nighter, whether it's the guys working it out more or just having a bit more time on the water, but we do tend to see the fish get bigger as we head into that last night of the 2-night challenge, 2-night event. So yeah, I think it's going to be a great, huge, fantastic, lots of fun week up north.
Oh, the best thing about when we go to Camp Kanga is just everyone's there. So, like the non-fishing part of it is awesome. You've got guys talking about this technique. You got, all the boats are lined up, so you got blokes just talking crap the whole time. We get home, from the session at midnight, and half the time you're not going to bed till 3 o'clock in the morning because you're out still talking fishing. So it's pretty cool. I love it there. I reckon it's the best part of the tour for me is going to Camp Kanga. That's just it's just so good to have everyone in the same area. So I love it.
Oh, I can see you're getting excited.
Oh no.
So any last words? Like, we've got, I think by the time this goes to air, we're just talking like a handful of sleeps before we hit the water. Any advice to teams out there as they're getting packed and getting ready for this year's tour?
Pack all your Xeric products.
And a little side note, so at ABT we've noticed a bit of a trend where teams and people that we interview as part of our live shows, they tend to go on to win events and grand finals and qualifiers and the like.
Well, you just put the coffin, you just put the nail in my coffin, haven't you?
No, I reckon you gotta, don't prove us wrong. I don't like to look bad. So here we go. You've heard it here first. There's a trophy with Dicko's name waiting for him. He's just got to catch the fish to back it up. Yeah. Looking forward to the Xeric Barra Tour kicking off in days' time.
We are back, and we're just talking in the break then, that room that they're making all those rods in was literally right next to where Nicole was filming that segment. So don't know if you could hear the noises in the background. I blame the Venom rod builders. Those rods built in Australia. Yep. Well, they weren't putting the stickers on with that hammer or whatever was going on in there, or the vacuum cleaner, or the whatever the decibel causing device was in there. But yeah, all hand rolled on those New Zealand built blanks, but hand built in Brisbane, the Venoms. That's why they're such a good rod. I noticed that somebody snuck out of Wilson's with a brand new Venom Target rod too.
Oh, it's nice.
Is that your first ever Spono?
Just borrowing it.
Borrowing it. Okay. Hope it doesn't get kicked overboard. Ow! We got prizes for Xeric Barra Tour for you guys. We got, the fish traps, of course, the flat shads in different sizes here. We got the live mullet in the right colour, the dark ale, or as you call it, ginger ale. V-swims, They catch plenty on those. And the Matic vibe. I saw Boothie did a post, and some of the Wilson's guys really like this when they need a vibe that's going to wake them up. Tell us what venue on the Zerek Barra series you would love to fish. Is it Tinaroo? Is it Kinchin, aka the Puddle? Is it Teenborough? Or is it Peter Faust Dam? Just mention that one in the comments. Doesn't matter whether you're on YouTube or Facebook, and Nicole will go through and randomly pick one that probably has some sort of flattering comment about Nicole in it.
It's got to be events or places we've gone through this tour.
Yeah, can't be Mondra and Jordan Stoddart.
That's
We're going there next year.
Not this year.
So yeah, tell us if you want to, if you would love to go to Tinaroo or Kinchant or Peter Faust or Teenborough. You can win that bag of stuff. So we're going to post that one out before we leave on the weekend. All right, next person we caught up to when we did it via the wonders of technology was Michael Starky, and you'll hear about in this story here how he's got his boat in pieces. Pretty sure it was still in pieces when I talked to him today. So, Mick's talking about making the boat work. I said, mate, the only thing you need to make the boat work is make sure the bung goes in it, then it works. It does all your fandangle technology work. That's a Mick Starkey problem, and this is a Mick Starkey story.
Ooh, and there's a little bit of industry news.
Ooh,
that will drop.
You heard it here first in about 5 minutes' time. Here he is, and from this humble office where his empire is run, Michael Starkey. Before we started recording this, you were telling me how many bits your boat was in out in the garage at Frogley's offshore there. Welcome to the show. How many bits is it in?
It's a few. I've been away travelling a fair bit the last few months, last 6 months really, and I thought it's on my to-do list to put all the new electronics in and all that sort of stuff, and got there and decided to start taking the bits, and then realised, hey, this is a bigger job than I thought. So one afternoon wasn't enough, but I've got multiple sounders out. The active target 2 from Lawrence has all been put in. I've got 2 to those transducers, wiring, everything to bits.
At least you started a week early, because normally you do this like the night before you go. So I consider that being quite organised.
Well, it is actually for me quite organised, but the problem is I've got so much work on, I don't have extra time. So that was like my afternoon. So now I'm going to have to figure it out over the next month or so. What is it? No, next week, isn't it? Next Sunday, I think I'm leaving to go barra fishing. So hopefully my boat will work by Sunday. That's the theory.
Well, if there's anyone's going to get it going, it's you, because you've got an electrical engineering degree, I remember. So, you used to spend your time fixing MRI machines, and fixing an active target should be all right.
Yeah, no, it's not hard to actually do. It's just finding the time to actually do it. It's my problem at the moment, but it will get done, and hopefully it works. If not, we'll do a dodgy like we did last year. I think last year on the side of the road, we were installing something on the way up to the Barra Tour, so probably be the same this year.
Your event is the first one. It's the atomic round of the Barra Tour. It's at Teenborough. It's the first cab off the rank, and as usual, you're always very generous when it comes to giving the anglers some handouts at the event. We call it swag, stuff we all get. And I thought it might be time to give them a little bit of a preview about how generous Uncle Michael's going to look after him this year.
Yeah, well, last year I really enjoyed the Barra Tour and the whole friendships, groups, and camaraderie between brands, even the competing products and stuff. I thought the whole setup and everything was awesome. And I said at the speech last year when I think I beat you on one of the rounds, I got up there and had
I don't remember that one.
Not to provide. But I did say that we'd back the tour a bit harder this year, get involved more, and that's exactly what we're doing, being a naming sponsor of a round. And on top of that, I think we have about $150 worth of stuff to every team going up there on top of the prizes we've already sent.
Yep.
And we're mixing up a bit. So everyone takes their own lures and gets a shitload of that sort of stuff. So we're only give a couple of lures. Just because I know what we used last year and worked up was the real bait's been working really successful up there.
Yep.
And that's what we caught all our fish on last year. And then the new Deeps and Twitcher, which is going to be great for that live scoping stuff that all we're all going to do next year in the middle of Kinchin.
Yep, you're all welcome. It's a big lake. Come out and do it.
It's not that big when you get 50 boats beside you, Steve. But what I've decided to do is do a bit more of stuff that you'd actually use if you are sponsored and stuff like that. So we've got things like the rod socks that people just use in their boats. Why not we'll do a reel cover? Everyone needs reel covers when traveling in boats, that sort of stuff.
Yep.
Got tip protectors and rod wraps, just basic stuff. Cool little mesh bags. These are quite handy to put leaders, put lure, use stuff in, dip them in the water after so you can dry them out, whatever. But all that sort of stuff is what we're looking at giving the angler packs just so they can actually use half the shit they're given rather than they're going, oh, and giving it away. So hopefully this is useful to most of the competitors out there.
Yeah, and they're going to get it at the first event, so they're going to be able to use it for the balance of the tour. And I think it's not a coincidence that this year the numbers in Barra are higher than we've ever had them for the Northern Tour. It looks like we'll be up into the 40s teams. Gussie's going to be on this show tonight. Like, Gussie is so excited. At Fishing Monthly here, I've had packages for Gussie turning up like every day. He's spending his money at all the local ABT retailers, the member retailer stores, and his stuff's all coming in. So, you know, when the Bassmaster Classic champion is getting excited about Barra Tour, then we all should be getting pretty excited as well, because it's a great fishery that we have on our doorstep.
Mate, it's pretty amazing, and they're fishing pretty well. And I think the Barra is just going to be those empowerments recovered. It's getting more accessible for people. And it's a fantastic fishery. You don't have to fish for 20 hours a day now to catch a fish in some of these dams. And the more that improves, the more it's going to be more accessible for everyone. And I think it's a great future of our industry, and it's such a good fish to catch too. I love it. I've been doing it years and years ago, then kind of missed out on floods. So I did a bit of wild stuff outside of the tours, and then come back to the tour again, and I think it's bigger and better than ever. Yeah,
I think we should nearly have our after board meetings at the tour, because there's more industry guys there than there are at the after meetings. It's a bit of an industry get together, and that brings me to the point that getting the key people in companies there in fishing, I think, is really good for the R&D process, because when you enter that process, you're doing it having talked to 30 or 40 other teams. Like, you know what their opinions are, you know why they do and they don't use products, and it's got to help accelerate that R&D process.
Mate, massively. Unfortunately, I couldn't get. I'll give you a little bit of a scope of what's over that side of my room. You can kind of see that chair over there is full of product.
Yep.
That is actually all prototypes from last year's Barra Tour feedback that I've got that I'm going to take this year to finalize different projects, different things on it. And there's a whole bunch of Barra stuff there that were developed because of last year's Barra Tour. So I think it's an amazing tool. Because quite frankly, where else do I go, okay, I'm going to spend 2 weeks fishing for one species, R&D, and check. It just doesn't happen with our industry. Like, we've got so much on. We're all so busy.
Yep.
And I've got close to 11,000 products now. So to go, okay, one type of fishing, one type of person is quite, at the end of the day, quite niche for my company.
Yep.
But by going on these tours, it's forcing me. I quite enjoy it. But the added benefit is it forces me to develop and go, okay, I wish I could do that different, or I could do that better. I could improve this product, and all of a sudden we've now got a range of lures that are coming out. I've got a couple of different rods coming out for that Barra empowerment targeted, because they're a bit bigger than wild, fish a bit heavier. So it's really a great R&D tool that I use quite extensively last year, that I'll continue this year.
And it's not, of course, it's not 100% all serious fishing. There is the party night. I hope you got the memo on it's superheroes, mate. Don't give us any hints about what you're going to be, but just quietly, you look pretty good in the whole costume.
I've got a few ideas here, but I think my partner Mick is really looking forward to get dressed up as some super female cat.
Oh, really? Nice.
So
okay. Well,
either that or an offsider. We're trying to source costumes for a freaking 120 kilo, 7-foot person at the moment, which is not normal.
No, well, it'll be good. We look forward to the entrance at the party night there. Look, let's pivot a little bit and talk about something else happening with your company. And it's got to do with the brand Zip Baits. Popular bait amongst a lot of the brim guys, especially. Tell us the news.
Yeah, so this is brand new, probably going public almost today. It's we've taken over the distribution rights and bought Hypertackle, which is a Zip Bait distributor in Australia. So now we get the stock next week. So from next week forward, Frogleys Offshore will be selling exclusive Australia, New Zealand Zip Baits and all the products. And we're going to look and expand dramatically to new ranges from Zip Bait, because they have a fantastic range of products.
Yeah, and 11,000 isn't enough, mate. You need some more, don't you?
Mate, I wanted, my goal, and it's always been, is if I'm going fishing, I want to sell it. So if I fish for something, I want that type. And what Zip Baits has been able to give me is a lot of cool products that I didn't fit in Atomic or the current Bass Day or the other brands we do, because they do some funkier stuff, some more limited market stuff, but enables me to bring that stuff in a lot easier. So it's been no secret, we expand fairly rapidly. We do a lot of different things, we don't try to expand brands too much. So this is kind of unique, expand the whole brand. but usually our expansions within our own brand, Samurai and Atomic. But this brand just really fits in to parallel with our business, and it means that we don't have to develop and spend a lot of money on tooling, because it costs a lot of money to bring a lure in Australia. Not many companies actually do Australian design lures. I know a mold we've got half a dozen or so at the moment in production for Atomic, and each of those molds has cost us around $20,000 US.
Wow.
So it's not cheap, and that's before you buy a product. So you got to spend 30 grand Australian just to get one depth. So if you bring in 2 depths, that's 60 grand to bring in a lure. So like that one we're bringing in to the anglers, like that deep, for example, that we given away, that thing there, that's a 90 grand investment by the time you do the different sizes, different depth, before we actually sell a lure. So it is expensive. We're quite lucky at Froggies Offshore that we have the ability to be able to do that under our brands. And but having a brand like Zipbait means we don't have to spend as much on molds. We can spend on product and promote the brand and do some different things within that.
Well, I know
so
that
the Cam's End, the surface lure is one I've been kind of missing, I'd say, since the Megabass days. You know, I used to be a big Megabass before we gave that up, but there's plenty within that range there. The fakey dog, I think that's called, and the Cam's End, the brim lure that everyone knows from years back.
Yeah, that's right. It's very popular with the brim guys, and I think congratulations. I think that's a great addition to your range, and I know a lot of brimmers up and down both coasts are going to enjoy that addition. Michael, thank you very much for being so generous to the ABT anglers. They all put a big effort in. Everyone's getting pumped for the Barra Tour. This show is the last thing that we do nearly before we pack up and go. So, mate, we'll see you up there, and I expect you to have a whole lot of big screen Lorances and active targets gaffer taped onto your boat.
Cable tie, mate. I'm an electrician.
Cable ties and gaffer tape, mate. That's how it works. And hopefully we'll you'll catch a few fish again this year. I must admit, I was pretty impressed at how many fish you caught straight away last year after having not been there for so long. It was like riding a bike for you.
No, I'd never been to those dams ever, those 2 dams. So last year was my first one, I think.
And you were the first one on the scoreboard.
Yeah. Oh, Kinchin, yeah, first fish. I caught a fish while people were still pulling up. I'm like, well, this is a fluke.
Yep. I think
we did 11th, 5th, and 6th or something. So I don't think I can improve on that because I don't fish that type of dams or never been back since then. But I do enjoy it. And, mate, it's just while I can develop products that any noob like me can go up there and throw something out to catch fish. That's the whole point. You can get technical, but mate, I just want to pull a lure out of the pack, throw it out, catch a fish, and that's my goal. And that's what I hope everyone can try to achieve.
Well, there you go, Barra Tour guys. That's what Michael Starky looks like. If you don't remember it last year, go and give him an earful of all your Barra advice and product advice, because it'll all go in there and it'll get monetized in here, and that's all great for the sport. So thanks for joining us, Mike, and we'll see you in a few days.
Okay, mate. Thank you very much. See you up there.
Flat brim hat.
Oh, I curved it a bit. I tried to make it I didn't want to look like Cromo that much.
You love it.
I don't like flat brim hats at all. We've got that third atomic pack to give away too. Let's make it something to do with zip baits. I want y'all to think of Michael and some new zip bait slogans. Like me, it'd be like, how can he make zip bait zip great? Or no, making zip baits great again. Maziga. I can get it on the hat. Like make zip bait great again. Anyway, you'll be able to get them probably a lot easier at your tackle store there. And great acquisition for Michael. Put your zip bait marketing slogan in those comments there. Make Nicole laugh. If she laughs enough, she just says, "You give that guy or that girl the pack," and we'll post it out before Barra Tour. Yep. Yeah, but we went on the road again. We had lots of field trips this week. Went to see Josh Lowry down at Samaki, who is the master of keeping Tommy Wood under control. As he said, yes, Tommy would be up there pre-fishing already, and Rob Wood would be scratching his head, where's Tommy doing his work? Where the boats aren't going to wire themselves. But Josh is Tommy's road dad and keeps him in check. and they'll be up there this weekend, probably like most of the other people. So we caught up with Josh, and what you probably don't know about Josh is Michael was talking about the Australian design lures. There's not many Australian design lures. Well, Josh is one of the guys that's just fanatical about it. And we found out how fanatical this week when we went on a trip. We have caught up with the man himself in his brand new factory on the Gold Coast. Although, Josh Lowry, it's not brand new anymore, is it? It's like, it's home for you now, the Gold Coast.
Yeah, no, it is home. Grew up here, moved away, moved back, and I'm here for good now. We're loving the change, and yeah, it's not new anymore. I think 2.5 years, I think.
And one of the things we were joking about was that you love it because the after show is now only half an hour away and not a day away each way. But we joked about it, but it's serious. This is sort of the hub of the tackle show each year, and it's easy to get to.
Yeah, it is. It's easy to get to. That was one of the decisions. We thought, oh, well, the trade show's on the Gold Coast, but it's going to be so much easier. But we just seem to put way more stuff at the show now and try and do it bigger and better.
Now, one of the things that since you've moved to Queensland, we've sort of weaned you off that Northern Territory barramundi fishing, where you catch heaps of those little fellas. We've got you onto this lake fishing, and you fish in the team with Tommy Wood, of course. What is it like fishing with that dynamo?
It's been unbelievable. Obviously, for me, it's a huge steep learning curve. I learnt a lot about sounders. Obviously, technique in freshwater, very different to saltwater fishing, especially in NT. And yeah, we have a really good time along the way.
Do you act as some sort of a mentor for Tommy? Because let's face it, he doesn't make the best life decisions sometimes. He needs a little bit of coaching in that area, like in visas, going to work, things like that. How are you going in that department?
I try real hard. I definitely try and give him a bit of encouragement on the deck. And when fishing's tough, we build each other up as well. But yeah, no, on the life side, I keep trying. I tell Rob I keep trying, and we'll just keep trying.
It's like he's got 3 parents.
He does.
One of the things that I've noticed since you've been coming on the Barra tour and fishing Barra events is what you learn on tour is often reflected in the products that you make. And I must admit, 5 years ago, I didn't know that much about Samaki as a brand, but as we've come to know you guys, it's really evident how much of your experience and how meticulous you are getting all of these products exactly right. Like we were talking before about just the little nuances in the jerkbaits, for instance. You might think that, I do an overseas tackle brand, I'll just pick a lure out of a catalogue and push the button. Well, you can do that, but that's not what makes #1 selling jerkbaits, is it?
No, definitely not. I wish it was that easy. But in saying that, the pain along the way is sometimes the reward at the end when we have a successful product.
Now, I'm going to talk about the DS80, the Samaki DS80, because I've fallen in love with it as a live scoping bait. It's sort of a must-have on Barra lakes nowadays, especially if you like the forward-facing sonar. You've started off with that 80 and the 100 size Reddick, but you're working on the 90 mil one, the one that's in between the two. Take us through a little bit of that process. How many iterations of the lure do you need to get it exactly right, and what's the difference between success and failure of a lure like that?
A lot, and only small micro adjustments. The 90 mil, the new 90 mil, for example. So that was good to go in production. I always get final samples sent out coming off the production line, and the 90, looking at that's clear. What happened is we actually fished Tinaroo last round, and it didn't do what I want it to do. So I cancelled production straight away. Wow. And we've been adjusting it ever since, and we've finally got one you're holding there is the go-to.
Okay.
It's okay. So we've had maybe 7 different models since Tinaroo. Yeah. But that's the little things we do, because obviously the 80 mil took 2.5 years to make, and I thought this would be a lot easier, but it wasn't. But now it's the same, and it's just beefed up, obviously, with YS81. So we've got baits now to cover sort of both scenarios.
I think it might be sort of not getting easier for you because you're knowing more and more about what you want that bait to do. Let's go back 3 years, and we were just happy that the bait was in the right area. We didn't know how it had to hang or what hooks it really needed on it. But nowadays, you make a bait that you can buy, pull it out of the box, tie it straight on, and there's no modifications needed.
No, that's exactly right. And live has obviously just changed the game for me personally, like trying to develop lures. You look at the 80 mil and the 90 mil, and if I put out the back and troll, they do exactly what they're supposed to do. But when we're trying to jerkbait these fish down 10, 15, you're getting the DS80 down to 15 foot, I think you said to me, and now we're trying to get this new 90 mil down to 18 foot to 20 foot. So we have basically every range covered, but those micro adjustments in the lure internally is what makes you get it down to that depth.
And what like when we're talking quantum of adjustments, you might have moved that, mate, 1 millimetre that weight just to make that difference?
Yeah, and less. So normally when we do an adjustment, we do 0.25 of a mil back, and we get like 6 made, and then we test it down to it. So when the action is like what we think is bang on, then we'll do the micro adjustments to get it perfect.
As a lure designer and manufacturer, do you get offended at how many Barra don't eat your lures on live?
You learn really quick to get over that.
Get a thick skin.
As we know, at Woonga this year, the tour was very frustrating. But you know what? We kept grinding, and you work out a way to catch them. And I suppose that's why you have so many tools in the box. You know, you got to work out different ways to catch them. There's always a way to catch them. It's just you got to keep trying.
And you've got to get out of that comfort zone. Maybe what worked last time doesn't work this time. For the people that are watching that maybe haven't experienced the Barra on live sonar thing, just explain how tentative a 1 metre long fish and how scared a 1 metre long fish could be of a lure this small and what we think is unintimidating. Just explain a standard rejection on live.
Yeah, well, like it's funny. Like you'll go from the good and the bad, and depending on the mood they're in, like, and which we're obviously all trying to work out as anglers, sometimes you'll cast the lure out, it will land on the surface when you've marked one, and it's 10 metres away, and this fish just shoots off at 100 miles an hour. And then all of a sudden you'll get like a moon rise or moon, whatever it's doing, and they'll come from 10 metres away and swim into it and look at it. And you're like, here we go, and it doesn't eat it. And then you get other times where you can't do anything wrong, and it's all trying to entice it. Sometimes you twitch it. Sometimes you're pausing, like last year we were talking, like we were pausing 30 seconds, and then boom, you get the bite, and it's very addictive.
I always envisage it underwater as this little lure sitting there, suspending in the water, not moving, and the big 1 metre long Barra swims up to it. It looks like his nose is right on it, and then he like sees his reflection in the eye of the lure and freaks out, and he's like, I didn't move. He didn't move. All of a sudden he was scared by his own reflection. I think it's that level of detail that's going to make the difference between, let's face it, if you hook twice as many Barra in a night, you'll win a lot of Barra tournaments. You know, we're all missing 15 out of 20 fish, 19 out of 20 fish that come past. And I think of all the guys working together and sharing the information, we'll finally work out one day what that trigger is to get our percentages up from 3%.
Yeah, exactly right. And that comes down to, like we were just talking before we jumped on here about rods. So it's all about finding the fish, obviously, working out what bait they want at that time, and then landing the fish. It's kind of it's a 3-step process, and that's something for me that I've learnt so much on the tour, where we used to just get a nice 7-foot extra fast rod, beautiful cast, nice and light in the hand. But now things are changing.
That's right. And look, I really like your concept. Let's run through the concept. I think you said this was your prototype Reddick rod. That just explain what you do to a standard, like a standard 7-foot bait caster. What have you done to this to make it specific to that jerkbaiting technique?
Yeah, so this is probably a rod that really hasn't kind of been made before. Like it's like we make a lot of crankbait rods for the bass scene, for throwing lipless cranks like Glenbourne Dam and Sinclair that I used to do a lot of. And then you have your fast action rods, which are great for casting jerk baits, throwing swim baits. But this rod here still has a tip to obviously work the twitch, but it folds away definitely. It's like a moderate action in the center, in the middle of the rod, and then it only starts to get power really at the bottom end. And that's trying to avoid when Barra jump, you pull the hooks out of it, especially these tiny size trebles that we're trying to catch these metre fish on. And this rod, I think this is the final prototype that we've had, and I've been fishing it, and I think we've nailed it. So
tell us the exact specifications and what's the timeline till it gets to market? What, another 6 months, another year till it gets to market? What are they going to be looking for when it hits the shelves?
So it's 6'11", so it's a bit of a unique size. It's in between. Obviously, where it's distant casting. Can't go too long on a boat when you're working those jerk baits. It kind of goes against you. So I found 6'11" was like the max I could go to. This rod is coming in December, I believe.
Okay, so it's not a long way away.
December, maybe early January. That they're arriving into the country.
It is 100%. It's all about keeping the hooks in once you've hooked that fish, and not only do we have the dramas with the Barra, just the strength of their jaws, the impact can bend those hooks on the strike, but then keeping them in, especially when maybe one's in the corner of the jaw and the other one's in the cheek, the leverage is crazy, isn't it?
It's crazy. Like we test lures. Like we have a machine that we test the strength of a lure, and we would test it. And the DS80, for example, we can pull on the toe point and to the rear eyelet and it's like 39 kilos strength.
Till it
You-
lets go.
You can cast at a barra, and something they do can just blow a lure open, and you're going, how is that even possible? The hooks aren't even that strong, but obviously it gets into their jaw. And, you know, one thing we've been updating, like we've changed the DS80 to one-piece wire. Occasionally they'll damage it, but you'll land the fish.
Yep.
So we've got to try and make them as light as possible to get the perfect action, but they got incredible power.
The other bait that we saw you throwing a bit last year, and it's nearly in fruition at the moment, this fella here, this is a, again, the straight out of the box, tied on catch a barra swim bait. Remind us what it's called and when these fellas are due.
Yeah, so this is another brand, Fishcraft. This is called Dr. Shad. We fished it last year. We're very successful at Teamborough. We caught all our fish on these after dark. But yeah, it's just out of the box. Comes with an extremely strong barra hook, large gape at the top there, 5 by strong treble on the bottom. 3 sizes, a 4-inch, 5-inch, and 6-inch. But yeah, they're due early Jan as well.
So it's you've nearly made it for the barra season. It'll be great for the 2024 barra season.
Yeah, well, that's pretty much. Yeah, I'm trying to, like, fishing the thing. We're trying to nail every lure that's the best in its class. So we've got a swim bait. We've got our jerk baits covered. Obviously, our vibes are very successful already. The hardlishes for those really shut down fish. I feel like we're ticking all the boxes.
Yeah, and look, I think all of the Barra Tour nearly has become a bit of an industry jaunt as well. There's so many companies up there doing the same thing, using that group of anglers that are all happy to share their knowledge to help improve their product and make better product for the shelves. Now, let's move away from the industry side a little bit, get into the competitive side a little bit. You and Tommy leading Angler of the Year at the moment. For the Team of the Year for Barra, mate, is the pressure on coming into the last events? You've got 3 great results under the belt. I think you just need another 2 decent results to shut the door on everyone else.
Yeah, obviously, yeah, we were lucky enough to start on a front foot. Even though fishing was tough, we managed to pull a couple of high scoring rounds there. Yeah, we're pretty pumped for it. Pressure's on, obviously, but we do have a good time. But we're definitely giving it 100% crack.
You know what? From a pure sporting point of view, shank the first couple at Kinchin and Teamborough and really have to make Tommy have to perform at Faust. I'd like to see if the little fella holds his shit together or not, because I think when the pressure gets on, that's when we'd really see Tommy just go into 300% mode.
He does. He switches on. Teamborough last year, we didn't have a bag, and we got a couple of fish, couple of pelagic barra at the start. We had a point that we wanted to fish. It was already taken, obviously, because we decided to fish the centre. We had option 2 and option 3. We got option 3. We fished, and we only had half an hour left. Speed limits in place, so we can't fly home.
20 knots at night.
20 knots. So we're like, how long have we got? And we were down to minutes, and we followed a fish for probably 5 minutes, chasing it down, and it bit with minutes to go before we had to do it. Literally landed it. I never drive the boat. I start in the boat. I'm already in gear, idling out as we're getting it out of the net, taking the photo to upload it. But yeah, pressure's on, and he definitely turned into a machine at that last, especially when it's tight.
I don't know if any of the viewers know, but there was a story at the Barra Australian Open a couple of years ago when we're all fishing at the top of the lake, and as we're coming back down the lake, I think I'd followed Rob and Tommy out of Mondra and out of some of the sticks there because they didn't have a torch, Beside the point, that was disorganised. But as we're going out, I said, "Oh, look, you were leading most of the day, Tommy, but you need another metre fish to win." And Tommy's like, "Oh, rightio," and then he ducks up this side thing, and then comes back. He goes, "Oh, I got a 95." Unfortunately, he needed a 96 to win it. But he seems to always be able to catch those fish when the fish are down. When the chips are down, he needs to catch them. They just somehow miraculously turn up. What does he do? Tell everyone here how do you win those tournaments? Do you know?
Oh well, you just honestly, it's just you got to fish 100% of the time, and that's what Tommy does, And I'm a little bit older than him. I probably the all nighter. I fade at 3:30. I'm like, I'm going to fish all night. 3:30, I fell asleep at Faust on the deck casting a hard body last year, and I'm like, I had to sit down and have a power nap for an hour. He kept fishing, and it's like that's kind of the person he is. He definitely. He just froths on it.
Well, you guys definitely are at the moment odds-on favourites for that Team of the Year title. It's a well-respected title, that one. There is over 40 teams going to be fishing for it this year on the Barra Tour. Biggest Barra Tour we've had in my memory anyway. And I'm older than you, so my memory is probably ordinary. So look forward to putting some of this gear through its paces up at the Barra Tour, mate. And how many sleeps?
Not well. We're off Saturday. What are we today? Not long
Couple
at
of
all. A
days.
couple of days. We're on the road heading north. So yeah, I'm pumped. Tommy wants to go today, but there's
He wanted to go yesterday,
this
didn't he?
work thing that gets involved. But yeah, we're super pumped and can't wait to see everybody up there that's coming on tour as well.
Yep, and if you're watching this, want to follow all the results, all on our website, www.abt.org.au.
Poor Tommy. He's a good boy. You guys give him a hard time.
You're just his road mama, that's all.
He eats us out of house and home, but he's a good kid.
I did notice you were doing the grocery order for the house before, and you're like, "Oh, Tommy's coming in." You like doubled some things, didn't you? So you're giving him a hard time now too. You know what we like in Australia? Tall poppy syndrome. If you're at the top of the BARRA Team of the Year table, off at the knees. Even your house mama taking it out of you. We've just remember we got the comps on. We're going to announce the winners after the next segment. If you share this video on Facebook, you're in the draw for that. There's only 19 shares at the moment, so good odds on that one. You can tell us your zip bait slogan for one of the other atomic packs. There's been some great ones on there. Nicole's actually been having a bit of a laugh all the way through. And then the Xeric comp, you could win all the Xeric and the lures from Wilson's in there by telling us which of the Xeric Barra Series lakes you want to fish. Is it Tinaroo, Awonga, Kinchin or Timbra? And the where you're from.
And Peter Faust.
Oh, yeah. And Peter Faust. We're doing 2 events there. So, yeah, plenty of prizes. You've got a couple more minutes to enter that. During this next segment, we'll pick out the winners. Hey, if you enter now, you're like right at the bottom of the list and right in front of Nicole's eyes. Will that bluff you if you're there like entering right now?
It doesn't hurt.
Yeah, it doesn't at all. So, look, of course, this is the big money shot. Like Carl Jochimson used to be our star guest on this show, but I'm pretty sure it's Gussie now. Not that we don't love you, Carl. We'll get you on the show maybe next show, and because we like talking to Carl. He's been doing the hunt your food, drink the blood, all that sort of stuff at the moment. But Gussie is spinning his wheels to get over here, and we caught up with him only yesterday. Never seen a Canadian so excited to run away from the snow. Let's have a yak to him, eh?
And it was snowing, and that's what we're blaming. The internet was a little bit glitchy, so we know it'll be a bit glitchy in this segment, but you'll hear every word Gussie has to say.
You're blaming the snow.
Yeah.
Optus blamed the snow for their fallout of the day too, didn't they? Let's roll it.
Here's Gussie.
Jeff Gustafson, you are like every single North American bass pro. You have a garage full of fishing porn behind you there. Just quickly give us a bit of a look at your garage, mate.
All right. Yeah. So this is 3 years old, and yeah, it's sort of my fishing shop, and I've got a little TV so I can watch, fishing shows. I've been watching some BARRA videos here the last couple of weeks, and I got a little bit of tackle ready to roll. I don't know if you got any of these over there, this new Z-Man swim bait, but they've been catching tarpon on them. It's heavy duty, right profile, could be good. But yeah, there's the big trophy.
Nice. Overseeing the BARRA preparation.
Yeah. Yeah, good. I can't show everyone all my secrets there, but no. But yeah, just it's sort of the end of our season over here, so I've been picking away, just kind of trying to reorganize all my equipment and gear, and the boat's been just kind of on its last cleanup, and hopefully it'll be out of here by the time I get back from my trip over to see you guys. And then yeah, just kind of more tackle, and I go travel all over the place. So just, and I also fish for not only bass, a number of different species. So yeah, you kind of accumulate a lot of different stuff. But
my question is, how does it take so much space to store a jerk shad and a smelt noted jig head?
It's like the only thing I catch any fish on anymore. I know.
I think that's all we ever see you throw when we're watching you on live and stuff. That's your hitting zone, isn't it?
If I hit on that, then yeah, life's good.
What's the chances of this year because you're running your own boat this year? It's Gussie the captain. We've got rid of Carl Jochimson because I think he was holding you back a little bit. We've got we got Gussie in the front. And what's the chance of Gussie finding some BARRA 15 foot, 20 foot down that you're going to just drop a moping rig on top of and get some action.
Well, I'm bringing some hooks and baits to definitely try it, because it's a pretty natural technique, and literally I've caught every species of fish over here doing that. So, and we caught a lot of fish on swim baits last year, similar profile, and this is just those straight-tailed baits are just a little bit more subtle, and maybe they'll work. The Barr are kind of like one thing I learned last year. They're kind of picky, and as like violent and mean as they are, you got to have a little bit of finesse in your presentation a bit too. So that was probably the biggest thing that like surprised me about the whole fishing experience.
On a level of 1 to 10, how excited are you for your Barra trip with your apparently unrelated mate Gussie?
Yeah, we're super excited. I had a great time last year, so it was just kind of I decided pretty early, after I got back, that I was going to come back again, and it's a good time of year for me. So it works, and I'm very excited. I had the best time last year, and looking forward to doing it again. And then my friend Brian that's coming with me, we have the same last name, Gustafson, and we're actually not related, but he's a good fishing buddy, and he actually owns a couple big fishing stores over here in Canada, and is doing really well for himself with that. So he's excited too.
It's just quietly, the Aussies have done a bit of discussion about this, and if you're from Canada in the same sort of area, you got the same last name, I'm sorry, but you probably are related somehow. Just your mum and dad haven't told you the whole story, that's all.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. Yeah.
I see you've been doing some preparation there. How much thought have you been putting into the preparation? Are you like the rest of the Australian Barra fishermen and just spend about 3 months just imagining every single bait that a Barra might eat?
Yeah, and the problem was, I think I caught like 2 on a jerk bait last time, and the rest on a swim bait. So there wasn't a lot of. I never got one on a vibe. I know a lot of the guys were throwing those, and that's kind of a unique bait for me. Just not something that we use over here.
Yeah.
I caught some walleye on my lake where I live. They're one of our popular fish and really good to eat. I caught some walleye on one this summer. But yeah, that just, mixing in a few more of those different techniques. That's sort of my goal this time, just catch them on catch them different ways. I see all the videos of like catching the ones up like real shallow in the grass, and like, I want to sight fish one on this trip. We never got to do that last time. So
I think we've got a spot in Faust we can direct you to called the Hospital, where the big old Barra get up there and they bit sick in the weeds, man. They'll be prime for you to sneak up on them.
Is that where all the YouTubers go and catch? Pete and Benny call them zombies. They go, the YouTubers go and catch the zombies.
That's right. And they call it, the other guys call it the Hospital, because that's where they'll go to die when they get big and they just get sick. But you'll love it in there, mate. You can go and
I just want to catch some. Yeah, I'll do whatever it takes.
I know that you're not going to let out all your secrets, but call an audible now. What's your secret bait that you're going to bring across that's going to make a difference for you this year? What do you think? This is not going to fail. This is a gun.
Well, okay, I'm going to grab this new Z-Man swim bait. Hang on here.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's kind of been designed for saltwater, but it's actually a line through. So that's a 6-incher. We could beef that hook up a little bit probably, but it sort of has a slot that it slides into. And I was casting one just off my dock here before it froze this week, and they look good. So that's something maybe that they haven't seen before. But
how many times?
I don't know. I ordered a few things that that I had sent to you, and I expect they're going to show up when we get there and not be all pilfered and ripped off.
No, look, I'm definitely not going to open the boxes and blunt the hooks down. That's not what I am. We're all about catching fish, not catching fish. So Aussies are more about getting your rigged up rod, stripping off about 20 meters of line and putting a drop of super glue on the spool and then winding it back on. So your first cast goes over the horizon.
Yeah.
So be careful for that one. So I think that line through bait will be great, because how many Barra did you have hook up on, say, a molix, and then they jump and then they throw the bait. So, maybe this bait they won't throw.
Yeah, you never know, I guess, but it looks good, and yeah, that's sort of the design of it. They've been catching like quite a few tarpon on it and snook down in Florida the last few weeks. So yeah, the guy that is one of the lure designers for Z-Man, he's a saltwater guy and designed it, and I asked him about it last week. How heavy duty is this thing? And yeah, he said it's golden because that bait will just slide up the line, and yeah, might save you a jumper or two. I've been telling people that like if you hook 10 and you land 6 of them, you're doing pretty good.
That's about right. You can have nights when you land all 10, and you can have nights when you land none of those 10. You know how it works. You got to have you holding your tongue the right way.
Yeah, for sure.
Mark Sarek is very generously loaning Team Canada his boat again this year. It's a boat that you fished out of last year. You're quite familiar with it. The question I've got is, are you going to beat Pete and Benny to the secret spots?
Well, I got a video that was made back when you were at the Classic it was a bad time to get me to make a video because it was like kind of late on Sunday night.
It was early. I'm telling you, it was early.
Yeah. Anyway, I was on a good party that night, but yeah, we'll definitely have to keep it honest for sure. No, those guys put a clinic on in front of us last year. It was pretty impressive, and we won't steal their spot, but try and I'm gonna keep that little area honest and see what else we can find around there.
I know that we'll probably drag that video out on party night because I think the audience there will be very receptive to your post Bassmaster Classic winning speech to the Barra Tour guys.
Yeah,
I don't think we published it because it's probably not publishable at a public forum, but definitely at party night we'll drag that one out.
Okay, that's fine.
You're flying straight into Mackay, so you're going to arrive there sort of 9 or 10 at night after about like 30 hours or 40 hours of travel. I'm just letting you know right now, our plan is to take you from the plane straight out to Kinchin, and hopefully within an hour you're going to be tied onto your first Barra. So I hope Gussie 1 and Gussie 2 are happy with that. You can sleep when you're dead because hopefully we'll be hooked up an hour after you land.
You know what? When I booked it, I was like, oh yeah, the flight we get in the evening, that's perfect. And then like this week it hit me. I'm like, oh, this is really screwing up their plan. Like we land like right at prime fishing time.
It's all right. We're going to come and get you, mate. We'll have a boat lined up for you and the rod just ready to go.
We get into Brisbane early in the morning and then we're sort of there all day. So I don't know, maybe we'll get lucky and get out of there earlier or something. But yeah, that's the plan. It's going to be a little bit of a quick trip, and hopefully we can rest up a little bit on the trip over, so we can, because we're going to just kind of get right into fishing. But
don't worry, we don't get to sleep.
Yeah,
that's the key of getting over the jet lag. No sleeping.
Just give her, yeah.
The question I've got is, what is your prediction? You had Carl with you last year. He sort of, you need a local with you on the first year to stop you moving around, because if you move around too much, you sort of miss the fish. Now that you've got rid of Carl and you know this in your mind, are you going to do better or worse without Carl there? Like let's call it. Come back and quote this later on. If you say, I think we're going to advance our results over Carl or not. Let's call it.
Well, no, I can't chirp Carl too much because it was a pretty awesome experience. I got just walk in, this is how you do it. And so pretty lucky there, but he had a bunch of stuff going on just with life and family. And I think he's, our plan is he'll come again next year. And so it's all good, but I'll miss having him. And I know he's going to be have big time FOMO next week when we're all posting pictures of all these big fish. He's going to hate it, but yeah, no, he's been giving me some tips and some ideas of stuff to try. And so hopefully we'll be able to represent North America, have some respectable shifts of fishing.
Nah, I think so. And look, just for your own information, I got a message from Pete the other day saying the dams are lining up really nicely. Everything's probably warming up a little bit slower than it has last year, so the chance of it hitting it right on the head is pretty good. So the lake levels are all dropping real slow, which is what we want. We just want those nice hard weed edges to form. So all of the teams that are coming to the Barra Tour are pretty keen that that they're gonna do pretty well. Like some of the southern lakes down near Brisbane have actually been fishing really well this year, like Lake Mondrian and Lake Awonga and some of those southern lakes. So we hope it's we hope it augurs for a good Barra Tour this year. I know that Camp Kanga's nearly booked out. Party note's going to be great. A question from Nicole is: have you got your costume organised yet?
We got a little bit of a costume put together, yeah. So we have it's not a ton of effort into it, but we got some Canadian costume, and yeah,
nice.
We'll represent.
I do hope it's a Mountie. I hope it's a couple of Mounties there because they're the superheroes over there. They keep the peace, don't they?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Look, I think that's all we need to know. We just need to know that Gussie is pumped and ready to go and has got his tackle ready. We've got your boxes here. And any final shout outs for the other Barra Tour competitors, mate? Is Team Canada coming to get them or what?
Hey, I mean, we're gonna try. Like, I think, yeah, Carl and I did pretty good last year. We had one rough night there, but we squeaked a few top tens, and no, I had fun. I'm super excited. I've been looking forward to this for a while, and yeah, I'll be a few more days, and we get on the road. So I can't wait to see everybody. I know a few of the guys were putting a bit of tack. I put a post on social media a couple weeks ago just asking what, anyone have any hot lure tips or anything. And I got some good messages back from a few people. And I know the guys over at Zarek, they said they were going to put a little box of stuff together for us. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, so, it's Josh, I think he said he was going to throw a few baits together for us. And Tommy, I gave him a pile of bass tackle when he came over last winter. So he better have some good shit for me too.
He'll have like one old chewed up bait for you. You know what Tommy's like? Tommy's very competitive. So when it comes down to the crunch, it's like, who are you?
Yeah, I know. Well, that's fine.
One more final question before I let you go to get all your winter prep done before heading off down under. And let me say that snow or Barra fishing, I know why you've made this decision. Like I can understand this. When you won the Bassmaster Classic, like we've been getting a bit of heat at ABT recently about writing checks. We write prize checks for the winners and we mail them to them or give them to them. Apparently that's outdated technology. How did you get paid the $300,000 for winning the Bassmaster Classic? Did they funds transfer it to you or did they give you an actual check?
No, I got a check on Sunday night when the party kind of started. No, I got a check, so that was pretty sweet. I took a picture of it, and because I'm sure I'll probably never have a bigger one ever in my hand. But yeah, no, I got a check that night, so that was pretty slick.
So the biggest tournament in the world pays by check. So we're doing all right at ABT.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you guys.
Well, of course, that in the Barra Tour we're advanced. That we actually pay cash. You get money to spend at the local tackle stop.
I didn't know if we were allowed to talk about that or not. So, but yeah, that's what the anglers really like the best for sure. I know that's what we like over here.
Yeah, we like it because you mainly leave it in the local economy. It burns a hole in your wallet. And Tackle World Pie and Lindsay's shop, they end up with it all at the end anyway. So
exactly. So.
Gussie, thank you very much for making the time to chat with us. We love you coming down here. We the Aussie fans, you saw how quick we pivoted at the Bassmaster Classic. As soon as Carl didn't get a limit, we were straight onto the Canadians. So we're looking forward to you coming, mate, and we're going to have a grouse time this year.
Yeah, I'm excited. So, yeah, we'll see everyone in a few days and looking forward to it.
Thank you very much. There you go. We're talking about me being on the security camera next door with my phone, walking around in my black shirt like a robber. Anyway, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about prize winners. We've picked a few there. Nicole, let's start at the most recent one. You've got a few honourable mentions for the Zip Bait logo.
Yeah, some good ones come through. I think Mitchell Cone had one that I've lost now. I could almost hear the cogs turning to think up those ones.
Let's start with the most recent one. That was nearly a winner, Troy Lowe there.
Yeah, came in right at the 12th hour. Zippity doodah, zippity day. Tie on a zip bait and bag the catch of the day.
Cheesy, but I love it.
I think Michael Starky needs to sing that one.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be good.
What about Zip Bait, It Ain't a Shit Bait? That's thanks, Brendan. I think that's Brendan Knowles from Perth. Don't swear on this show. We don't say shit at all. Unless it's in a logo.
Lots of zipping up your games, unzipping, re-zipping.
Unzip the future in fishing with Zip Bait lures. Good on you, Geordie. I noticed Jordan having a bit of a rant on Facebook the other night. Jordan, I was very unimpressed because I just always see you happy, but I could see the steam coming out your ears. World's happiest non-boater is now world's happiest non-boater most of the time.
But our winner
Our winner is Steve Seister.
over on YouTube.
Yep. A zipper will get you a ripper. And I reckon you could even modify to get you a ripper. So,
That needs to be on a t-shirt, Michael.
yep, knock that up there. Stephen Seister, I'm pretty sure you're in the ABT database. We've got your address there. We'll send it to you. Where are you from? Well, guess what? Daniel McNeese is watching on YouTube from Canberra. And Nicole thought that was pretty depressing living in Canberra, so she said it sent him a price back. So Daniel, I'm pretty sure you're on the ABT database as well, and we'll check that Canberra address, get you an atomic pack out there. For the Wilson Zerek pack there, winner on Facebook here was
Trent Blake. He likes to go to Teambra. I personally have a bit of a love-hate relationship with Teambra, but he's hoping I'll show you how it's done there. I'm just hoping to catch a fish.
What do you mean it's a love-hate relationship? It's just a hate relationship. It's not even. There's no love involved. You caught fish there, like multiple fish one night, and then that was about it.
Yeah.
The other 5 years have been a bit dry. Yeah, you loved it that night. True. And also for the share, there was about 30 shares in the end. Thank you everyone for sharing it, and we hope other people can enjoy ABT Live. That was Norman Forsyth. He was one of the middle shares there. So Norman, shoot us your details, and I'm pretty sure Trent Blake, you're in the ABT database as well. But Norman Forsyth, send us your details via Facebook Messenger to ABT, and we will send you out another one of the atomic packs. So good show, Nicole. We got it nailed in between all the segments. We've got a bit of stuff cleaned up. Got the boats moved around out there. Swept a few leaves up. We are preparing to load that van and head north. Apart from doing well in the Barra Tour, my biggest hope for the Barra Tour this year is that bloody van's air conditioning doesn't shit itself.
It tends to, right around Bundaberg.
No, about Rocky it got to last time, and it's like, it's getting real hot now, I'm not going to work. So I've had it checked out. All I'm saying is if that air conditioning craps itself, it's going to come back to Crick's Volkswagen and the whole van's going up someone's clacker.
Okay.
It's a big van too. Anyway, so let's hope that all goes well. Thank you very much for producing the show tonight, Nicole, and co-hosting. I'm getting to the point where I can chuck you the camera and I can just sort of... So you can do the closer down, Nicole. I'm going. This is my future.
So follow us, all the Barra coverage coming up, abt.org.au. They're all app events, so that means all except for Teambra will have live scoreboards running through the whole night. Look forward to seeing all those glory photos coming through. Keep an eye on the socials for results. It is Barra, Barra, Barra for the next few weeks here at ABT. Take care to everyone driving up north over the next few days. Travel safe, and we will see you up in North Queensland. Have a good night, everyone.